Hello there, my name is Beth Gaff and I'm the Media Literacy Coordinator here at the Peabody Public Library. And first off, I want to let you know that this class and pretty much all the streamed classes are geared to go at your pace, which means that you are able to pause this, minimize this, and go away from this at any time, and you can pick it up later. Also, we offer a Computer Class Pass incentive program, and this program entitles you to win prizes, and as long as you're coming to the classes or you're watching the stream classes or you come meet with me on a one-on-one appointment, then you definitely qualify. So you're going to want to be listening for that code inside of this class, and you just need to get that to me. Either call me, email me, stop by, let me know what it is, and I can get you entered in for taking this class. Not sure what I'm talking about? Just give me a call and I can explain to you how the Computer Class Pass incentive program works. This particular class is downloading and uploading pictures, so I'm going to be showing you how to do that in various ways with various devices. So without further ado, I want to welcome you to downloading and uploading pictures. This class, I've decided that I'm going to just split it up and divide it into different types of sections. So this particular section is going to be all about creating files on your computer. So we're going to first start by creating a file for pictures on our desktop, and this is going to be the easiest way. That way you've got somewhere to dump all those pictures into so you're able to use them a little bit more freely. One thing that you're definitely going to want to get yourself familiar with is using that right click on your mouse, because we know anytime that we get a right click, and maybe you don't know, but anytime that you right click on something, you're going to get a menu. It doesn't matter what you're in, you're going to get some form of a menu. And by right-clicking on our desktop, we're going to get the menu that we need to create a folder. But I first want to start off by letting you know what the difference is between downloading and uploading is, okay? So downloading would be if you were on your computer already, and let's say you're on YouTube and you have found a video that you like and you want to keep it. So you would download that video into a file that you've created for that video to go into. Same concept with pictures. If somebody sends you a picture in an email and you retrieve it from your email, you would then download it onto either onto a device or into a file that maybe that you have created. So downloading something is something that you're retrieving from another location, whereas uploading is when you have actually taken pictures with your camera and you want to put those on Facebook, or you want to put those into a file for yourself, then you would be uploading those. You wouldn't be downloading them because you already have taken them and you have those pictures and now you want to share them. So by sharing them, you're uploading them. If it's a picture that you don't have and that you want, then you would download that picture. So I wanted to clarify what the difference is between downloading and uploading before we got started into creating our picture file. So as we can see on this slide, just by going onto your normal computer, your desktop, and typically most of this is going to have to be done through your regular computer, not a tablet. The difference would be if you were actually taking a picture of something and you have it on your tablet and you want to do something with it on your tablet, you would be able to do that. But if you have taken pictures on your camera or something along those lines, or maybe you're taking a picture from somebody's Facebook account because you want a copy of it or something like that, you would definitely want somewhere to put it. So right now we're going to create a file for ourselves for pictures, and the way we're going to do that is we're just going to go to our desktop. There's actually two ways. The easiest way to do it is just to create a file on your desktop, because you're always going to be able to see it, it's always going to be in front of you, and you're always going to be able to access it easily. Another way would be to go into your folders and create a file in your pictures, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but for now we're going to create our file on our desktop. So you're going to just right click on your desktop, and as soon as you do, you're going to get a menu, and you're going to go down to where it says New, and I have it circled in red there. And as soon as you go down to New, you can push it if you want to, but you don't really have to. Because there's an arrow next to New, it's going to automatically pull out another menu for you. You can click it. You're not hurting anything by clicking it, but you don't have to. So if you choose not to, that's okay as well. And then that next file is going to come over, or that next menu from New is going to come over, and then you're going to click on Folder. As soon as you do that, if you look to the picture on your right, you're going to actually see this folder created for yourself. And typically when you first create it, it's going to, the words in it that say New Folder is going to be highlighted in blue. All you have to do is backspace, and it's going to take all those letters out. And this is only going to work if it's highlighted in blue. If it's not highlighted in blue and you've clicked somewhere, then you're going to need to double click on it so you can rename it and take all those letters out. But then you would be able to relabel it Pictures. And I have that picture just below with a red arrow pointing to it to let you know that that is what we've labeled it. So go ahead right now and minimize this video and get yourself on your desktop, which you should already be on since you're watching this video, or maybe it's something you might want to do later, but if you are able to now, go ahead right now and right click on your desktop, get to that New, and get that New menu over there and click on Folder and get that New folder up for yourself. Okay, so now we're going to talk about renaming a created file, and this would go along the lines for all of the files that you may have. You're going to want to get used to that right-clicking. So if you go to the file that you're wanting to change, and in this particular situation, I've decided that I want to change that file that I just created, and I made it say Pictures. I now want it to say July 2014, because that's where it's, that's the month and the year of the pictures that I'm retrieving. So maybe I want to customize it a little bit better, and I want to get myself organized, and this is going to be my first set of my July pictures. So what I would do is I would just click once onto the folder, left click once, and then right click on top of that file. And when you do that, that menu is going to come down, and there is a rename at the bottom. So you can just click on rename, and by clicking on rename, then you're going to be able to take the pictures out or whatever you've created that file for to begin with, and then you're going to be able to rename it and make it something different. And we can see that that's how it worked in these pictures here. So go ahead right now and rename that file. It doesn't have to be July 2014. You can rename it to whatever you want. You could rename it to Pictures again if you want to. But just kind of get yourself familiar with using the right click on top of these files. Maybe you have a different file that you want to rename that you've been wanting to figure out how can I change the name of this file. And you would just left click on it one time and then right click on that file, and then you're going to be able to rename it no problem. So go ahead right now and give that a try. In this next section, we're going to be talking about saving pictures to your PC. So I'm going to show you steps to show you how you can save pictures to your file that you just created or maybe that you just renamed. So the next few slides are going to be talking only about saving pictures to your PC. So something that we haven't talked about yet that I do want to talk to you about is sometimes when your devices load those pictures in, or you get that autoplay window when you plug in those devices that have your pictures on them, you're not really actually able to see what the pictures look like. So you want to make sure that you can. And the way you're going to do that is you're going to go to wherever those pictures are, and in the upper right hand corner you have like a square or something that has an arrow or something like that. And you're going to click on it, and when you do, you're going to get this little menu here that I'm showing you in the right hand corner, and it's going to come up, and this is where you're going to be able to make those pictures larger so you can see them a little bit better. That way you know which ones that you're transferring over so you don't have to double click in them to get you going. So I'm actually going to post this in 2 different locations throughout this class just to kind of get yourself familiar with the fact that you are able to make these pictures larger and smaller so you're able to see them better, or make them smaller because they're too big. That way you can transfer over the ones that you want to use. So I wanted you to be familiar with this, and it will be in 2 different sections of the class for you to see. So the first thing that I want to talk to you about when you're saving pictures onto your PC is that media card that you may have, or it's also called an SD card. You're going to insert your media card into the appropriate slot on your card reader or the computer or the external card reader. So if you have an external card reader, which is the picture that's shown here, you just be able to plug that into the side and then it plugs straight into your USB. But if you're working with a laptop or maybe one of the newer type of tower computers, you should have a slot somewhere where you can plug in this card and it's going to be able to pull up those images for you. So if you're working with a media card or an SD card, now if you have a micro SD card, don't panic. I realize it's not going to fit in that big slot that you have. You should have gotten an adapter that came with it, and that little mini SD card actually plugs into a regular sized SD card as an adapter, and then it's going to plug right into that slot. So don't get a little bit paranoid if it's not working exactly the way you want it to. Just kind of go with it, and if you got a mini SD card, then you should have gotten an adapter that goes with it, and it's going to work just fine. So as soon as you get that plugged in, you're going to get a menu that pops up, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next slide. So go ahead right now and just, if you're working with a media card or an SD card, go ahead and find it and get it kind of together. So maybe you can go ahead and insert it into the slot that it needs to go into to retrieve to retrieve those pictures. And this would work also with a flash drive. If you have a flash drive, you can plug that into your USB port, and then it's going to pull up whatever's on there as well. So just take a moment right now, and if you're not real familiar with the components on your computer, maybe you want to just take a look and see what you've got on your computer before you continue with the class. So that way when we start talking about some other things, then you're going to know right away what's going on. If what I'm talking about right now, it seems extremely foreign to you and you're just not sure if you know exactly what you're doing, please call me and I would be more than happy to sit down with you and show you how this works. That would be a one-on-one appointment, and that would definitely count as part of the incentive program, as well as getting you that knowledge that you need to use these cards appropriately. So after you plug in that card, it's automatically going to pull up a file because your computer has now recognized it. So an autoplay window should pop up after a few seconds of doing that. You're actually going to choose the option that says Open Folder to view files. Navigate the folder containing images. If the window fails to appear, you can open this by just going to My Computer, which is located in your Start menu, which is in the bottom left-hand corner, and you can double-click on that particular drive that your SD card or memory card might be connected to. Because as soon as you plug that in, not only should you get this window that pops up, but it's also going to show up under your computer as an external device that is there. So go ahead right now and take a look. If you've gotten the autoplay that has come up for you, go ahead and click on Open Folder to view files. If it did not come up, go to your Start menu, click on My Computer or Folders, and you're actually going to see it listed under the computer components on the left-hand side. And again, if you're not sure what I'm talking about and you want some more help, just give me a call and I will help you through this. It isn't hard. It's a lot harder to learn on this type of a class when it's streamed rather than a one-on-one type of thing. So if you're familiar with computers, then this isn't any different than any time that you plug anything else in and you get a window. Anytime you plug something in, your computer should recognize it and your computer should pull up an autoplay window so you have something to work with. So go ahead right now if you have not inserted that SD card that you're working with and plug it in, and maybe you have a flash drive. At this time would be a great time to go ahead and plug in your flash drive. Either way, you should get this window. If you don't, then just go down to your Start menu, click on My Computer, and it's going to be listed there, and you're going to be able to double click on it, and then you're going to be able to open it up. And that's what's going to be in the next slide, is opening it up. So as soon as you push that button that says View Files from that autoplay window, you're probably going to see some other files in there for the SD card. It should be under Images or DCIM. one of those type of things, or maybe it just says camera. I'm not really sure how you have your card set up, but if it came straight from your camera, more than likely it's going to say DCIM, and that's what you're going to want to double click on, and it's going to get you to those pictures. So as soon as you're able to get those pictures up, you can now, you have a couple of options. You can either decide that you only want certain pictures, or maybe you want all of them. If you want to transfer all of those pictures over into your file, then you would want to press the Control A to select all the pictures, and then Control C to copy the pictures, and then you'd be able to go over to that desktop pictures file that we created earlier, and you'd be able to double click in that, right click, and push on paste, and it would paste all those pictures in there for you. Something else that you can do is start at either the top of your pictures or the bottom of your pictures and dragging it across. By dragging, I mean left click and leave it left click and just drag your mouse across all the pictures, and they're all going to start to turn blue. Maybe not all of them, but most of them should start to turn blue. If you have more than 2 columns going, this has 2 columns of pictures in this picture, then it may not catch them all, but you can actually just do that, and it'll highlight them all like this is done here with the same as the Control A. And then you would be able just to keep it left click, and you could drag all your pictures over instead of copying pasting. So if you're familiar with the drag and drop technique, then this would work really great for that purpose. If you're not real familiar with the drag and drop technique of dragging your mouse across and getting all these highlighted, and then dragging the pictures into your file and dropping them in, then you'd probably be better off with the Control A, or maybe you just want to do each picture individually. Again, this is something that would be a personal type of way that you would want to handle it. So there's really no right or wrong way. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. And again, if you're having any problems, then just get a hold of me and I can help you with that. But this really is not a very hard type of thing to get accomplished. So go ahead right now and just play around with those pictures. You're not going to mess anything up. Don't be afraid to click on things. You're not pushing delete, so you're not deleting anything, so you don't have to worry about that. But just get familiar with your mouse and doing the drag, where you can left click, keep it down, and drag all across those pictures and get them all highlighted. Or you can just push that Control button on your keyboard and the letter A, and it's going to select them all. And then you can push Control C, and it's going to copy them. Go to your desktop, double click on your pictures file, right click inside, and click paste. Very easy, very simple, not hard at all. Try not to make it too complicated for you. I know sometimes we can get overwhelmed with all the steps that there are to everything, but it really is a very, very simple process. So get with me again if you have any questions, but I want you to give this a try first. So this slide here is just going a little bit deeper, kind of in regards to what I was talking about prior to this, of how you can get those pictures into that folder that you've already created. So you're going to navigate to that folder you want to copy your pictures to. It's better to create a new folder each time you import for the sake of organization. And what I mean by that is maybe you want these all in a July picture folder, and maybe the next set you would want just to say these are miscellaneous or something like that. But what ends up happening is, if you delete these pictures from that card that you're using and you insert that card back into your camera and you start taking pictures again, it's going to reuse those same picture numbers that it used before. So if you try to transfer new pictures into that folder, it's going to say that you already have that picture in existence, even though you don't. And that's just because of the fact that you went in and you deleted them. So the camera wants to reuse those picture numbers. So that's why it's a good idea just to create a new folder if you've deleted pictures and things like that, just to keep yourself organized. And you can see here in the slide how we were able to get to it. our July 2014, or maybe you just have a pictures file, is on our desktop, and I have an arrow there pointing to it. From the right hand side picture, you can see that the desktop is circled in red. Our pictures are right there next to it. This is where you could just drag them right into the desktop folder, or maybe you want to double click and actually get that pictures file. But you can also see in that picture the libraries that has a picture file for you as well, and that's what I was talking about earlier, how we would get into that. You can actually create a new folder in your picture file, and you would do it the same exact way that you did on your desktop. You would just double click on pictures, you'd have an empty picture library, or maybe you have sample ones that came with your computer that are on there. You would right click, new, and then folder, and then rename it. So you would do it exactly the same way that we created it on the desktop, and except now it's in that designated pictures folder. It doesn't really matter as long as you have yourself organized and you feel comfortable with what you have done. So this is just showing you how you can navigate to find that folder that you want to use, and how you can keep yourself a little bit more organized when putting those pictures in different locations. Another shortcut that you can use, we've already learned that the Control A selects all of our photos. Control C copies them all. So now if we push Control V, it's going to be able to paste those pictures onto your hard drive. Wherever you have put that folder and wherever you want these pictures is where it's going to do. Or you could just right click and select paste, and we talked about that as well earlier. So as you can see in this picture, as soon as you do either right click or Control V or however you want to paste them, a little box is going to come up and it's going to let you know how many pictures you've chosen and how much time you're looking at, and typically it does not take very long just to transfer pictures over. When you start getting into videos, it does take a little bit longer, but you're still not dealing with a whole lot of long time unless it is an hour and a half, 2-hour video or something along those lines. But just doing pictures, it's going to copy them straight in there, and this is what it would look like when your pictures are going in. So as they're going in, it's going to and each one of those picture numbers, and you're going to notice that when you go into your images that each image has its own picture number. You can actually right click on that and click on rename, and you can rename all of your pictures if you want to as well. Rename doesn't just work with file folders, it works for anything affiliated with that. So you can actually right click on your picture, click rename, and then you could actually organize them that way as well. You could name it as granddaughter, this was the niece and nephew on July, this is my sister-in-law in February, whatever you want to do with that just to get yourself better organized, and you're going to be able to find those pictures a lot easier too when you want to show them to people. So again, I just wanted to show you how that paste works and what it's going to look like when you paste those pictures in there. Okay, so once you're done with that card and you've gotten all the pictures in it that you want to get out of it, we need to now remove that media card from your card reader and be able to put it back into your camera so you can use it again for more pictures. You can actually delete pictures off of it through your computer. You don't have to do that through the camera. You can just right click on the pictures that you don't want and click on delete, and it will take them straight off of that card for you, and you don't have to do it through the camera. And you can actually push control. If you push on one picture and then you push control, you can push on several pictures at one time, or you can just do that Control A and it selects them all, and then by right clicking and delete it just removes them. But before you actually remove a media card from its reader or from your computer, you want to make sure that you're safely removing it or ejecting that media from your computer. And the way that we do that is in the bottom right hand corner from your desktop view. There is a little arrow, and you can see that here in the right hand side of the screen. I have a little picture there, and there's an arrow, and I've got a red circle around it. By pushing on that, you can see that there is a in the upper left hand. Yours may be located somewhere else. There's just kind of a little device picture and it's got a green little check mark there. If you actually click on that, it's going to pull up another little window, and then it's going to tell you what you have plugged in, and you can push on those items, and then it'll tell you that you can eject that and safely, that you haven't harmed anything. By just pulling it out and not doing this, you are taking risks of losing potential important information from that card. So you definitely don't want to ruin the formatting of your card, because then you would have to go buy a new one. So getting yourself familiar with ejecting media safely from your computer is pretty important. So when you're done, you want to remove that media card from your card reader, and then you can place it back into your camera. Format the card in the camera when you're sure that you've copied the images onto your computer. Use the format feature in your camera. Don't use the computer to format it, because they're two different devices, and you don't want your computer formatting it at a computer at the computer's format when you're going to be using it in the camera. They may not be compatible with each other. So make sure that you're formatting it through the device that it came from. Plus, make sure that you're ejecting that safely, so that way you don't lose any information or the format gets messed up. Any questions with that, please call me and I can guide you through it. I can help you with that. But go ahead right now, and in the right hand corner of your desktop, just kind of look for that arrow, click on it. If you have a device plugged in, then you're going to actually see it appear. If you don't have anything plugged in, then that little icon isn't even going to be there. So you're not going to have to worry about it. It only shows up when you've plugged something in. And that's where you're going to be able to safely remove that hardware and eject that media from your computer. So just take a look right now and see what you've got on your computer. Go ahead and plug something in if you've got something, a flash drive even, because even flash drives need to be removed or ejected safely, so that way you don't lose the formatting or any information that you may have on it, and it's done this exact same way here. Any slot that you're using inside of your computer, if it's something that needs to be formatted or it needs to be removed safely, will be listed in that little icon under that arrow, which is in the bottom right hand corner of your computer. Okay, that concludes our little section on your media card. A little bit confusing, I'm sure. You probably feel a little bit overwhelmed, but please don't. It really isn't that complicated. It's just a process is all. And if you're not used to it, it's change, and sometimes change can get the best of us. So if you're having any questions or issues with that, please contact me. I don't want you to feel discouraged, because this is something that we do on an everyday basis, using our computers and things like that, and I want to make sure you understand it. So now we're going to move on to cell phone pictures, and these are all pictures from your device that you have, whether it's a smartphone or not. If it has a camera, then you have pictures on it. So let's get into that and find out what we got to do for cell phone pictures. I started our class out with the SD card or the media card, primarily because a lot of your Androids nowadays do allow you to use that micro SIM or the micro SD card, and you can see in picture 1 there, that's what that looks like. It's just a micro SD card, and then that bigger one there next to it is actually an adapter, so that just slides in there, and then you're able to slide it into your computer. The little micro SD card actually just fits into your device, and that gives you extra storage or memory, so you can put songs, videos, pictures, whatever it is that you're wanting to save. Maybe you're running out of room on your phone, then this would be a good thing to do. All you iPhone users out there, I don't know what to tell you. If you've only got an 8 gig device and it's getting used up rather quickly, you do have that iCloud that allows you another 5 gigs. But other than that, you pretty much got to buy your memory through iPhone. You can't upgrade it like you can the Androids, which is kind of an unfortunate thing. But iPhones are very good phones, and there's no doubt about it. They're very hard to beat in the competition world, so you do have a good phone. So there's the bright side of it. So using a memory card, you can also use the USB cord to be able to upload a photo from your cell phone to your computer. The SD card would be one way, and again, I'm uploading it, which means that I have taken this picture, I want to share this picture, I I want to put this picture on my computer, so I'm going to upload it from my device. Now if I went on to Facebook or somebody sent me a picture in email and I wanted that picture and I clicked it and I wanted to get it on my computer, then I would be downloading it. But from this standpoint, we are actually going to be uploading it from our computer. So you're either going to use a memory card or you're going to use a USB cord. So go ahead right now, if you have a smartphone or even a tablet, because this works with your tablet as well. All your tablet is a big cell phone. It may not have phone capability on it, but it can do everything else. And actually, if you have a headset, it probably does have phone capability, whether you know it or not. So go ahead right now and get your smart device and get whatever you're using for it, whether it's a memory card or a USB cord, and let's get started with this. So we are now going to upload our photos from our cell phone to the computer, and the way we're going to do that is you're either going to plug in that card that you have your information on from your phone, or you're going to plug in your cord. And you could actually leave the card in your phone if you have a cord, because you're going to be able to pick that up as well through the cord. So you can actually do two things at one time if you have the cord. So you're going to open up your phone from my computer, and we know that as soon as we plug our phone in, we're going to get that autoplay window that's going to pop up. And if it doesn't, then we know we can find it over there in that computer, in my computer, where if you go to that start screen and click on computer, then your device is going to be shown there. You're going to be able to double click on that device, and then you're going to want to go to where it says DCIM, or maybe even internal storage or external storage. It might even have an SD card storage, but you're going to want to find those images. Depending on your device is how it may be labeled. So if you're having questions about that, please give me a call and I can help you with that. But we're going to basically just take those files and we're going to just do them the same way that we've done before. Once you plug that device in, it's going to pull up that autoplay window, or you're going to pull up that device and you're going to double click on where the pictures are, and then they're all going to be listed for you. So you don't want to miss out on that. So make sure that you're doing that properly, and then you're going to be able to do that Control A, Control C, Control V, and you're going to be able to select them all, copy them all, and paste them all. So go ahead right now and plug in your cell phone if you haven't. Get your pictures up, and go ahead, and you can even do the other techniques we talked about earlier where you're left clicking and dragging on top of them, highlighting them all blue. Maybe you just want certain pictures. You have to click on one picture to get you started, and then you can push the control button and then click on the pictures that you want to transfer. Maybe you don't want to transfer them all. Maybe some of them are kind of duplicates and you don't want them all in a folder. You can pick and choose that way as well. So go ahead right now and do that with your cell phone to your computer. So I want to tell you another way that you can get pictures to yourself, and another way is to email yourself those photos that you've taken. So if you are on your tablet and you want to email them to yourself, or maybe your friends want to email their pictures to you, then you would just go to whatever your email account is, compose a message like you're sending it, either send it to yourself or send it to a friend or wherever or however you want to do that. You can also email pictures to yourself to be able to download those onto your computer or upload them from your device that you have used. But I just wanted to let you know that emailing pictures to yourself is completely okay. It is totally normal. So if somebody says, I have a picture that I found of you a long time ago, say, hey, can you scan that and email it to me? I would love to have a copy of that. And more than likely, they're going to know exactly what you're talking about. And a scan is very simple. If you have a printer that is a copy scan and print printer, then you're not going to have any problem scanning it. If for some reason you don't have those kind of devices, we do here at the library. So you can come into the library and you can scan those photos and you can put them on those devices that you want to do. But emailing yourself the photos is another way of being able to get yourself those photos so that you're able to put them in the files that we've created today to kind of show you how to do that. So go ahead right now, and why don't you try emailing yourself a photo, or maybe call a friend and ask a friend to email you a photo so you can see how you're able to put that in a file as well. If you have a Bluetooth capability, you would have to have a Bluetooth enabled phone and a Bluetooth enabled laptop and computer, or a USB Bluetooth device. You can send the files to your PC via a Bluetooth connection. So if you're familiar with Bluetooth, then this would be a great feature for you to be able to use. A lot of your laptops and your tablets definitely have that Bluetooth feature, as well as your smartphone. So what better way to connect yourself to all of your devices by using your Bluetooth? Not sure what I'm talking about? Not a problem. Just get with me and I can help you do the Bluetooth connection. We can definitely find out if that is even an option for you. But if you're familiar with Bluetooth, then you know that you should be able to use it through your laptop, your computer, your phone, your tablet. All of your devices can all be linked together by using that Bluetooth capability. In this section, I'm going to talk to you about pictures from your camera. It is very similar to what we've already been doing, but I just want to kind of touch base on a few different areas when it comes to pictures from your camera. So that's what we're going to be talking about now. That's what this section is about, is pictures from your camera. If you're a part of the Computer Class Pass, your secret code is, I found my picture. Give me this code so I can get you marked down for taking the class and be on your way to prizes. So getting those pictures off of your camera is pretty much the same way as we've been doing it. You have two ways you can transfer digital photos from your camera to your computer. The first is to send the photo files over a direct connection, either wired or wireless. So you're going to want to have a USB cable, or if you have that Bluetooth connection, that would be your wireless. The second is to remove the memory card from your camera and insert it into the card reader connected to your camera, or to your computer. And we can see in this picture here how that camera is hooked up to the computer, and then our computer is going to pull up that autoplay window that's going to allow us to access those pictures, as well as our card reader. If we plug that into our computer, it's going to give us that autoplay window, and it's going to read our card, and then we're going to be able to go in and we're going to be able to retrieve those pictures. So this is something that we've already talked about, so I'm just kind of touching base with you again about being able to get those from your devices. This here is a USB card reader, and I just wanted to kind of show you how it looks. It was in our last slide, but there are several different types of card readers out there that you can buy. Some of them just look like a flash drive that have a little slot in them that we can plug those cards into. Some of them, like our bottom right hand picture there, only will plug into our iDevices that allow us to store that information, and we can see there's definitely a bunch of different variations that we can use by doing that. And that left bottom picture is just kind of showing you that autoplay window that we've seen already, and kind of what it looks like when it is ready to open and transfer those pictures for you. So I just wanted you again to see the card reader. This is a USB card reader. The one in the bottom right is an iPad or an iPod or an iPhone card reader, and it actually plugs right into your iDevice rather than your computer, and you'd be able to do that photo sharing. So if you've taken photos on your iPhone, you would be able to put those photos onto a card which can be plugged into your phone using a reader that is made for the iPhone, and then you would be able to plug it into your iPad, and then you'd be able to transfer those pictures over. If you're on the same iTunes account, then it won't matter. All those pictures are going to be transferred over anyways because you're on a sharing mode. But I just, again, wanted you to be familiar with the USB card reader and the different kinds of card readers and that autoplay window that we've been talking about through class. We have definitely talked a little bit about copying and pasting. This next section is just going to be primarily about copying and pasting pictures that we're actually going to retrieve from the internet. So it's not actually from a device that we've plugged in, but now we're ready to kind of move forward, and we're going to get some of those pictures from the internet. So if you can, at this time, go ahead and pause and minimize this video. Get yourself onto the internet. Google works the best, and that's what I'm going to be using today. So we can start to take some of those pictures off the internet and use them for our own personal things. So now we're going to talk about how you can get pictures from the internet. First off, if you're not sure how to get yourself connected to the internet, then you want to get connected first. I'm going to be using Internet Explorer. Some people like to use Google Chrome. Some people like to use Mozilla Firefox. It's whatever you prefer. I prefer Internet Explorer just because it gives me more right-click menu options than the others do. But it is definitely a preference, so whatever you want to use is fine. And now you're going to go, after you've gotten yourself into the internet, you want to get to Google. So you can type Google into your address bar, which is at the top, or whatever search engine you're using. Let's go through Google. It seems to be the easiest, and they have great pictures on Google. And you're going to start out with the web. If you just type in nature pictures, and that's what we're going to be working with today, if you type in nature pictures under the web, once you get there and you hit enter, you're going to get a bunch of links. Up above where it says web, there's actually an images button you can push. Go ahead and push on that images, and when you do, you're going to get a ton of nature pictures that are up there. So you want to go to the picture you want on your screen. You can look up pictures on something like Bing or Google. It doesn't have to be Google. It can be Yahoo. Whatever you're used to using, Google seems to work best for me. But if you don't want nature pictures, just type it in, whatever it is you're actually looking for, and then you're going to be able to get those pictures pulled up for yourself. So go ahead right now, get yourself on the internet, and go to Google and type in whatever pictures you're looking for and push on images, which is in that same line where it says web and videos and search and maps and blah blah blah. You can click on images and you're going to get a whole screen full of images pertaining to whatever you put in the search for. So retrieving an image is fairly simple from the internet. There's actually a couple of different ways you can do this. The first way is the way that they're showing you here on this slide, and that is actually selecting the picture that you want, and then you're going to right-click on the image and click on copy or copy image. Now, the only problem with this technique is the fact that it isn't a full image, it's just a pixeled image. So if you right click on this particular image, then it's going to just be very pixely, which means it's going to look grainy and it's not going to look all that great. But if you actually click on where it says view image, which is right there in that box, and I actually have it circled, you can click on view image, and when you do that, it's going to give you that actual image. It's going to show you that full image, no grains, no pixels, no nothing like that. Then you can right click and copy that image that way. That's going to be the best way, and it's not going to be so grainy that way. Now remember, if you're using this picture in a presentation or you're using it, even if you're going to upload it onto Facebook or you're going to use it in a paper or something along those lines, you definitely want to give credit to the people that actually produced that image. And you can see that I have it circled in yellow where you're going to find that credit. And that's going to be the website that it belongs to. And you can actually highlight that by left clicking and dragging it across, and then right clicking and copying, and you're going to get that credit because it's probably a copyrighted image, and you don't want to take something from someone else. You wouldn't want them to take it from you, so you just need to think along those aspects. They spent a lot of time on this. I'm not going to just steal it. I want to give them credit for it. So you want to make sure to give credit where credit is due. And if you don't like that technique, you can always, once you click on the image, up in the address bar, the very full address is there. You can right click on that and copy that as well. However you want to do it to get you the credit or to get the person the credit that took that picture. So just keep that in mind when you're taking pictures from the internet, Facebook, anything like that. You definitely want to give credit where credit is due. So if you are doing a paper and you want to keep this image or put it onto your paper, I'm going to show you now how you can put copied pictures into a document. So the first thing you want to do is open up your new document in Microsoft Word or Microsoft or not Microsoft, but Open Office, or maybe even in Google Docs, whatever you like to use. And then you're going, of course you would have had to have copied the picture first, which I showed you how to do that in the slide prior to this, just by right-clicking on the image and clicking on Copy Image. And then you're going to be able to right-click in this document and you're going to click on Paste. And when you do that, your picture is going to appear, and we can see it happening here before our eyes. So this is how you're going to put a copied picture into a document. Now, once you actually insert that picture into your Word document, you're going to get a new tab in Microsoft Office now that says Picture Tool. By using that picture tool, you're going to be able to edit this photo however you want to, and then you could actually make it your own. But before you actually do that, you do want to give credit where credit is due, and we talked about that in the slide before this. So make sure you do at least keep a copy of the link or the address to where you got this picture. That way later on, you're able to give credit and there's no copywriting issues and things to that effect. So, and in this particular situation, we're just going to take it from the internet and we're going to put it into our document or our paper. Maybe it's something that we just want to print off and show someone. So this would be the best way to do that. So go ahead right now, if you've got Microsoft Office or if you've got Open Office, which is free software that you can download from the internet. If you don't have Open Office, you can go get it right now. If you have internet, just go into your search bar if you're using Google and type in Open Office. It's going to pull up Apache Open Office. You can get on there, download it, and then you could copy and paste the images and put them into Open Office instead of Microsoft Office. It doesn't matter, and Open Office is compatible with Microsoft Office, so anything you do in Open Office, you should be able to edit into regular Office if you would end up getting that later or something along those lines. Or maybe you're somewhere that doesn't have Office, but you have it at home and all they have is Open Office. It would still be compatible and you would still be able to use it. You would just need to change your saving format when you go to save it. Instead of saving it as whatever Open Office has it at, you would want to save it as Microsoft Office. So either way, it doesn't matter. If you have questions on how to do this, please contact me here at the library. I can guide you through this. It works better if we meet to go through it, but I can do my best to try to troubleshoot you over the phone. But anyway, this is how we're going to take those pictures from the internet. We're going to put them into documents so we can show people. So go ahead right now and just kind of give that a try. So now we're going to put those copied pictures into your picture folder. And first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to double click on that folder that you created to put the pictures in. And when you do, it's going to look like that on the bottom right. It's just going to look blank and there's not going to be anything in there. In the next slide, I'm going to show you how we're going to put those pictures over there. But I first want you to get familiar with getting used to finding your picture folder or wherever you've created that folder for yourself, and make sure that you're able to double click on it and you're able to get into the folder itself. So go ahead right now and go find your folder, double click on it, and get yourself in there. So now we're actually going to put the picture in the folder. So now that you're familiar with being able to double click and getting that folder open, you can see that I've chosen a different image. My image I'm working with is on the left hand side. It's that very first image with the bench and the creek. And now I want to put it into my folder that I created. So all I would need to do is right click and copy my image. Go to my folder, because I already have it open. I'm going to right click in my folder and I'm going to paste. And you're going to see at the bottom that that's what it's going to look like. It's going to paste it right in there. Now here's where I was telling you earlier that you're going to see this a couple times throughout the class of how you can make your pictures larger. Once you paste it in there, mine pasted pretty well, it made it pretty large, but if yours is really small, you can just go up to that box there with that arrow, click on that, and you can actually adjust the size of your picture. You can also right click on the picture to rename it. If you don't like the name that internet has given it, you can now rename it. I also, if you notice, you can see your file visibly now on your desktop, and I have that circled in red to the left of that bottom picture there, and you can actually just see that picture kind of hanging out of your folder there. So now you know that you've done it right, and it's in there. You've renamed it, you've pasted it, you've gotten it from the internet, and everything is successful. And again, don't forget that you want to give credit where credit is due, and you want to make sure that you get the person that took the image or the website that produced this image for you to take. You definitely want to give them credit for it. But this is how you can take pictures from the internet, and you can copy and paste them into your picture folder. Go ahead right now and try that. Go into Google, get on the internet and go into Google or Bing or whatever you like to use. Type in whatever images it is that you're looking for and get your image going. Click on the image, click on View Image to get that bigger image because we don't want it to be grainy. By just clicking on it, it's going to give us a little bit bigger of an image size, but it's going to be greeny and it's going to be very pixely, and we don't want it to look like that. So go ahead and click where it says View Image, and it's going to go to another page, and it's going to pull up the entire image. And don't worry about whether it's really big or whatever, because later on you're going to be able to adjust the size of it and things like that. So don't even worry about that right now, and you can either push Control C or you can right click on it and push Copy Image, and then you can go to your folder, right click and push Paste, and then you've got it, and then you can right click and rename it, or you can just keep the name that the internet has given to it. So go ahead right now and give that a try. So the last thing that we're going to talk about is uploading pictures onto Facebook. Uploading pictures onto Facebook is done pretty much the same way as we've been doing it, as well as taking images from Facebook is done the same way that we just did the internet pictures. So this section is just going to be talking about Facebook. This is our last section. You're almost done. Hang in there. So getting those pictures that you've taken isn't really all that difficult on Facebook if you haven't quite done it yet, or you've been having people do it for you. It's now time that you do it on your own. So go ahead and log in and go to your profile page on your Facebook account. And there's actually two places where you can upload a picture from. Okay? So the first place we're going to click on is if you push on Photos. By pushing on Photos, it's going to take you to another page of your Facebook where all of the photos are that you may have already done or somebody has done for you. And you can actually click on some of those albums or those photos, and you'd be able to add more photos from there. And then once you do that, it's going to automatically pull it up from your computer. If it doesn't, you know where your file is. It's wherever you put it, and you can get direction. You can directly get there from Facebook as well. So you don't have to worry about that. Or you can go to where you would post some kind of a comment, and you can click on that photo/video button, and that's going to allow you to upload pictures onto Facebook also. So go ahead and get yourself logged into your profile account and just kind of take a look at your timeline. You can click on your name to get you to your timeline if you are not familiar with that. So click on your name, and that's going to get you to your timeline, and just get familiar with the photos and the photo video buttons. Okay, so this page looks a little bit busy. Don't get discouraged. It's really easy to follow. We're going to start with that very top picture where you kind of see my face and you see a campfire. What I've done in this picture is I've pushed on my Photos button, which is on my timeline, and I've gotten some of my pictures going, and I've decided that I want to create an album, and that is circled with red. So you can push on Create an Album, and when you do that, it's automatically, and I've got that big yellow arrow going around, it's going to pull up that auto type play box that we're used to seeing. And here's where I can find my file that I put all my pictures in, and I can go to them, and now I can start to insert those pictures. And once I do that, you can see that that arrow's coming back around. It's showing you how those pictures might look when you put them on there. So uploading pictures onto Facebook is not hard at all. It's done exactly the same way as you've been doing it. It's just different buttons and different scenery is the only difference. So stealing those pictures, or better use of words, taking pictures from a friend, is done similar to the way that we did it on the internet pictures, where you can right click, copy, and then you can paste that picture into your file. I do it all the time. My daughter posts pictures. I go in and I take her pictures, because if not, I would probably never have pictures of my children. So unless I take them, of course, and she seems to take a lot of pictures of herself. So I want to make sure I get those good pictures that she's taking that I'm not getting. So I can get on her account, or you can get on your friend's account, and you see a picture that you like, you can click on that picture, right click, copy, go to your file, right click, paste, and there it is. It's in there. So this is how you can upload pictures onto Facebook and even download them or remove them from someone else's account. They're not really removed. But I want you to also keep in mind that when you're using Facebook, that whether you know this or not, none of the pictures that you post on Facebook belong to you anymore. And that's kind of a real bummer, because we like to think that our pictures are our pictures. But once you make them public on Facebook, Facebook now owns those pictures. And it was in that very, very, very fine print of the instructions when you signed up for Facebook. Probably the stuff that nobody ever reads, or if you did try to read it, you needed a magnifying glass to read it. But in that fine print, it lets you know that these pictures, once uploaded, belong to Facebook. So if at any time they wanted to just take your picture and use it for an advertisement, they would be able to do that, and there's nothing you could do about it. Kind of goes along the same lines with your video camera or your smartphones that take pictures or anything like that. If I am a tourist and I'm in Florida and I'm with my family and I want to get a group picture in front of the ocean, and I hand my camera to another tourist that I don't even know, and I ask them to take my picture with my family, and they do, and they hand my camera back to me, what's crazy about that is that even though that picture is on my camera or my smartphone or my tablet, because they took the picture, they actually own that picture. It doesn't matter that it's on my device. Whoever takes the picture owns it. So now that tourist, that I don't even know who their name is, I just randomly chose them to take our picture, owns my family's picture. Now, the odds of somebody, that tourist coming back and saying, hey, I want my picture, blah, 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 are very slim to none. But you just need to know that for future reference. That way, when you are taking pictures with people, some people are a little bit nicer than others when it comes to things. So I just wanted you to be aware of that as well. And this is the end of the course. Please take some time to go back through this. If you have any questions or concerns, please get in contact with me. Well, I first want to start off by saying thank you very much for taking this course. You are definitely on your way to better educating yourself when it comes to the digital age, or the computer world as we will say it. And you did it. Congratulations, you made it through. You can take a big sigh of relief. It's over. You don't have to mess with it anymore. But just to let you know that if it wasn't for you, there would be no need for me to have these classes. So I want to thank you for watching. And please visit us at www.ppl.lib.in.us and watch for more stream classes. Don't forget those one-on-one appointments are available to you, and they are absolutely free. And let's talk about what you need help with. I've got no problem. My schedule is your schedule. So definitely don't be discouraged and get a hold of me. Also want to be listening for that secret code within this class. That way you can be on your way to prizes for the Computer Class Pass. Give me that code, and then I'll get you jotted down for taking the class. And again, I want to thank you for taking, downloading, and uploading pictures. If you have any questions, please get in contact with me. This class could not have taken part without the following information from the following websites and the following people. Thank you for allowing us to use your information to be a part of this class.